Hey, I'm Red, and today I'm gonna show you how to take that hard piano sound that On Me remix by Lil Baby has and use it to make better beats of your own. I'll also give you some free loops if you stick to the end. With that said, let's begin. Okay, the first thing I want to show you before you decide if you want to take my advice on this is a final melody I came up with using the simple section later in this video. If you like the melody, then stick around because I got a bunch of tips for you. And if not, well, maybe you'd be more interested in learning how to make a guitar melody like Whipski by Snot. Anyways, here's the final melody. On Me melody has one main element, and that is the piano progression. So let's break it down. For the sound selection on this part, I'll be using the soft piano preset on Labs. It's free and pretty good, so go check it out. This beat was made at 160 BPM, by the way. Step 1. Which note should I use? First, we need a scale, and for dark trap beats, you know the best scale is the harmonic minor scale, so let's add that. Now we're going for a repetitive sound. If you listen to On Me, you'll see that it uses pretty much only 2 chords throughout the whole song, and that's for a reason. In dark trap beats like this one, repeating a progression after the second bar gives it a much darker feeling. So we're pretty much only looking to fill this space and maybe add some extra touches here to make it less repetitive. Okay, so for the first step, I usually make a simple one-note progression either around these 2 notes or these 2 notes. The reason I do this is because notes that are this close to each other kind of feel weird to our brains, meaning they sound kind of unsettling, and that is perfect to give our melodies a darker vibe. Now copy and paste that on the second bar. I'll also add some variation here to make it less boring. Listen. Great, now we have our starting point. Now to make chords out of that, you want to place 2 more notes. Now these notes right here don't necessarily need to be our root notes. That means that they don't have to be the first note of our chords. They could be the 3rd or also the 5th. By the way, very important, a regular chord is made out of 3 notes, a root, a 3rd, and a 5th in this order. Okay, back to the melody. So to find out which combination sounds best, simply experiment like this. So for the first try, this will be the root, and this will be the root as well. That doesn't sound very good, does it? I think it's because of this. This is a diminished chord, which means that it has 2 minor thirds above and below the middle note. As you know, regular chords need to have 1 major and 1 minor third, either above or below the middle note. Whatever, let's try again. This time this will be the 3rd and this will be the 5th. So let's try to build chords around that. If this is the 3rd, then that means it has 1 note here and 1 here. And if this is the 5th, then that means it has 1 note here and 1 note here. Remember to always keep 1 tonic note before adding your chord note. That sounds much better. Now, as always, remember to highlight the thirds and bring them up 1 octave. Perfect, now we can add a melody on top of that. In this type of dark beats, adding a note in the 3rd beat never fails. Let's try it. And lastly, some top notes. Let's add 1 more note here to make this descending progression more natural. Also, I want to add these 3 notes up here. I feel like it will make this melody a bit unique. I'm using the notes around the 3rd for this one. And done! That's our final melody. For the effects, I'm using EQ, unstable to give it that detune effect, chorus to make it bigger, and some delay. Now, we shouldn't just leave the piano alone. It needs more frequencies to sound finished. So for that, I will copy and paste this MIDI into a pad. This time I'm using the Afterthought preset on Omnisphere for that. This is both of those together. And for the finishing touches, I will add a simple Vox progression. It simply helps the melody feel complete. Now let's add a drum progression. And lastly, a room effect chain. This will make the beginning of the melody sound like it was played in another room, and automate that to bypass when the drop comes in. Now the drop will sound hard. And done! That's how to make a repetitive dark piano melody like On Me by Lil Baby feat. Megan Thee Stallion. Before I play the final beat, if you want to download the melody loop I made in this video, there's a free download link in the description. It's royalty free, so you can use it however you want. I make 2-beat breakdowns a week, so if you want more of this, subscribe, and as always, see ya.